Good day, Minecraftians. Purple Mentat here, bringing you episode 30 of my Clouds of Darkness Let's Play. So, our quarry is running, gathering me the Attuning ores. I have no idea how to pronounce that. Attuning. Yeah, maybe that. Gathering us the ores that we need from this dimension for the latest quest in the quest line. And we're just going to let it run. Today, we're going to head back to spawn and we're going to build ourselves a red matter automated production machine, as promised. And there's going to be a few components to that. First and foremost, I have set up a new energy condenser inside of the power flower, and it is slowly producing Eternalist fuel. By the way, I apologize if there are any odd sounds. There is a repairman working on the building elevator, which adjoins my apartment. If you can hear anything coming through the walls, I apologize, but if you want this video today, it has to be recorded now. Alright, so this guy's producing Eternalist fuel for us, which is going to be key to producing red matter, because red matter is made from 3 dark matter apiece and 6 Eternalist fuel, and then the dark matter is made from 8 Eternalist fuel and a blue gem. So getting the Eternalist fuel, getting that production going is absolutely essential. And what we're going to do for that is we're actually going to set up a transfer node off of this guy. And we're going to line the edges. You have to set up the transfer node first. It doesn't like it when you try to line the edges first, so that none of these end up getting anything transferred into them. And you can see that the Eternalist fuel is slowly being put into the transfer node now. Excellent. And we're going to set up a barrel on the end of that, but not just any barrel. This barrel is going to need some upgrades. First of all, we need some structural upgrades. We're going to need Mark 1 and Mark 2 upgrades. Those are made with wood and iron. You know what? I'm actually relatively low on wood, of all things. I've got a nice little production station over there for the dark oak wood planks, though, so we are going to make use of our transmutation table to make a bunch of those. And I'm also going to need a bunch of nether brick fence, which is made with nether brick, which you've seen me do. So let's get ourselves some planks. There we are. Planks. Just give me a stack. That's good. And the nether brick will now allow us to make our structural upgrades. And I'm going to make extras because it makes my life easier down the road. You know what? As long as we're at it, I could go back to that nether fortress and vein mine the whole thing to have a ton of nether brick fence. Or I can make use of my table, which I think is what's going to happen. And here we go. And I'm going to need one more stack of these, and you can get burned into EMC. There we are. If you shift click, it will get exactly 1 stack of whatever item you are looking at. Now, I can make my structural upgrades and we can really get started. 16 makes a single stack of this structural upgrade. Huh? What just happened? I saw a brief particle effect. I'm not supposed to be seeing particle effects. What we're going to do is we're going to get 2 of these barrels down, actually. And we're going to put a structural upgrade oak and iron onto both. Then we're going to make 1 more upgrade, and we're going to need quite a few of these. And this is going to be the B space upgrade. No, that's not quite right. You need to get your Eye of Ender surrounded by obsidian to create the vanilla ender chest. And then you'll use this ender chest with 2 pistons in this pattern right here to create your B space upgrade. And this uses 2 slots, which is why we needed to get the structural upgrades, because the 1 upgrade wasn't going to do it. That only provides 1 slot. Well, now we have 4. And these can only be installed on empty... Well, I mean, give me that back. They can be installed into any barrel, but to be able to actually attune these 2 barrels together, you have to have them empty. And to make that attunement happen, you're going to need the tuning fork, which I can't spell, but that's nothing new, is it? the B-Space tuning fork made with 3 iron and an ender pearl. Simple as that. To attune these two barrels together, you will hold shift and right-click U, and then do the same here. Oh, nope, you hold shift and right-click that one, then you right-click. Why are you not working? It's just doing the start resonating part. There, you have to click back and forth a few times, it seems. It didn't want to work out. Weird. Anyway, I don't know if I can pick it up with the Mattock now. I'm testing. Nope, that breaks everything. So once you have that, you will have to move it around by dolly, but that's okay. That works out for my purposes. Right click, give it the B space again, and right click. There we go. They are now resonating together. And the great thing about this is anything that's in one will also be in the other. And if I pull out of either of them, it pulls out of both. So these are now linked ender chest style. What we're going to do with that is we're going to grab our dolly, and we're going to stuff one of them at the end of this Aeternalis fuel producer. And it's going to create for us a barrel of Aeternalis fuel that we can take somewhere else. Fantastic. Now, we're going to do that with a couple of more items. Specifically, I'm going to want another barrel here. Oh, do I not have my barrels in my inventory? That's a strange decision I've made. I'm going to need 2 more B-Space barrels over here. And I'm probably going to end up building the dark matter production system over here as well. 1, 2, there we are. And one of them is going to get attuned to my essence barrel. Where did my tuning fork go? Here we are. So right click and right click. There we are. Those are now attuned together. And now I have my extreme essence over here. And I also have it over here, which is awesome. All right. Last thing that I need to do before we're able to start actually building the device that I'm going to be using to craft all of this is I need to shut down one of these gassed seed farms and switch it over to lapis. But I'll do that off screen because you guys have seen me work with that before. However, I'm going to be using this barrel here for it. And I'll get that upgraded, and this one is going to be attuned with you. Do all that off screen. Be back in just a little bit. Okay, now that I have this adjustable chest set to being the lapis lazuli crop, we're going to set a transfer node on top of this, and I'm using transfer nodes very intentionally here. And we're going to actually extract everything from the chest for the moment, because I want a trash can to the side of this, right here. And that trash can is going to have a filter of lapis lazuli seeds. So any of the seeds that come out will get binned. And the essence is going to be gathered into this barrel right here. And that's it. I'm done. This will now run forever and generate as much lapis lazuli essence as can fit in there. And I may be pronouncing that wrong. I think it's lapis lazuli. I think I originally tried to teach myself to pronounce it as lapis lazuli when I was a kid. I learned how to pronounce everything from books, so not a lot of people in my social circles walked around talking about lapis. Where was I? Okay, so that's all set up. Now, I need to actually get the device together to craft everything together. We at least have step 1 complete. Step 2 is going to be making another master infusion stone, which is going to require me to go grab my extreme infusion stone and use a whole bunch of tainted essence. Getting more tainted essence was actually really simple. All I did was I pulled the harvest upgrade out of one of these adjustable chests using my aromatic hammer, and then I just waited for things to grow and harvested by hand for maybe 10 minutes until I generated a bunch of tainted essence. And now I have 14 hanging out in here. So we're going to take 8 of it, and we're going to surround our Master Infusion Stone, or our Extreme Infusion Stone with it, to create a Master Infusion Stone. And we'll go put our Extreme Infusion Stone back in the box to make the Extreme Essence. I need this guy because I'm going to be crafting the Extreme Essence and the Essence of Lapis into blue gems. We're actually going to park both of these right over here. They are both going to get a transfer node on top of them. And we're going to make something a bit new. So I want a new type of pipe. I'm going to need some glass, some stone slabs, which I'm going to need more stone for, and some lapis to make this pipe. So first off, we'll get our stone slabs. Just a stack. Remember, right-click on the output to do that. And we're going to want rationing pipes. And this is why I chose to use pipes for this specifically, and transfer nodes, because the... Oh, it's a QED recipe. Pardon me. Because the rationing pipes are a really neat little device. And you were lapis in the middle, glass on the sides. I should make more glass. Stone just like that. Let this guy process. We'll create 2 rationing pipes for us. In moving this guy over here, I lost another of my Enderflux crystals. I should really make another just giant pile of them so that that stops being an issue. So we're going to be using transfer nodes, crafting stations, and the rationing pipes to make all of this work. There we go. Now at the end of here, I'm going to stick a rationing pipe, and I'm going to put up one of the crafting stations. And these guys are going to make sure that 1 stack of both Essence of Lapis and Extreme Essence is in both of these. It's going to need the Master Infusion Stone in the center, Extreme Essence around the outside, and the Essence of Lapis in the middle. And now it can craft for us the blue gems. Those blue gems are going to be extracted from the bottom by transfer node and placed into another crafting station. Let me grab some transfer pipe, just the plain old original variety, so that I can make this somewhat compact and somewhat aesthetically pleasing. With another rationing pipe, we'll stick that right here. As you can see, this crafting station is now filling with the blue gems that this crafting station has made. We're in fact already out, and we're going to be using our Extreme Essence as fast as we can produce it. I should do some work to produce a bunch more Extreme Essence to kickstart this system, but the idea right now is just to get something functional, and later on we can expand the speed of it all. Now, we're going to grab this diamond dolly, and we're going to just use whatever we happen to have handy to set up this barrel with our Eternalis up there, so that I can then connect a transfer node right there, and this guy is going to pull out the Eternalis and stuff it into just here, a stack at a time. And now, like this, we can now automatically produce dark matter. Fantastic, huh? So let's give that another side there. Go underneath. And pull out with our... you know something? I think that I want to put the dark matter into a barrel, which I can easily access. Oops. Which means that I need to get rid of you. And now we can put this barrel right here. And this should start pulling out the dark matter. Why are you not pulling out dark matter? Alright, let me figure out what's going on with the spirit bag. Alrighty, so the bad news is I could not get the crafting stations to make the items that I wanted them to, no matter what I attempted. The good news is that doesn't matter. We can use cyclic assemblers instead. And to do so, I want my pipes back. We're going to stuff one rationing pipe down here. And one of our cyclic... Ooh, actually, you know what? That would be pretty awesome. We're going to put one of our cyclic assemblers right there, as a matter of fact. And we're going to say, forget whatever I just did, and we're going to undo it because I just came up with a better idea. So that pipe goes back. This rationing pipe belongs here. Ah, this rationing pipe does not want to go there while that exists. Hang on, let me see if I can change that by altering the configuration. You're going to accept items from the back. Nope. I'm going to have to break this first. I didn't mean to break everything. Oh well. Rationing pipe there, stone cover here, and put that crafting station back into place. There we are. And then we can put our lapis essence back where it belongs. And slowly start rebuilding things. Master Infusion Stone in the middle. Where'd my other Master Infusion? Did I drop it over the side? Nope. Okay, good. Good. I was about to be relatively upset if I dropped that over the side. 3, 4, boom. There you go. Now, it's creating blue gems for me and transferring those blue gems into this cyclic assembler. Good. And that cyclic assembler is getting Eternalist fuel. The downside, it is not getting power. However, we're going to set up our Tesseract here. And as you can see, this guy is already set up. Frequency 1, energy receive only. If you have a Tesseract in the world, you can put it down, set all of the details up to configure it, and then pick it up with your crescent hammer. So that when you put it into its final destination, it is already pre-configured. And we're going to do that right there. Now, what's going to happen is this guy is getting power. He is going to be set to output to the left. We're going to give him a schematic, and we're going to teach him that 1 blue gem plus 8 Eternalist fuel. Hang on, stop it, cooperate, equals 1 dark matter. Go. There you go. Created a bunch of dark matter and immediately dumped it into this chest, which is exactly what I want, because the other cyclic assembler is going to live right here. Like that. So now this is getting power. And this guy, you know what? We can actually rotate this guy like so. And we're going to set this one up to also output to the left. And he... Ooh, you know, if I get really tricky about this, he's going to accept items from the back as well. Nope, we don't want to output blue gems to him. That presents a bit of a conundrum. I need to be on a separate pipeline. Alright, so what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to... Sorry, you get to see me derp about with this a bit live because I'm figuring it out as I go. You are going to accept items from the left, and we're going to place another rationing pipe to the left, which I should have more ready for me now. Yes, I do. And you are now being filled by the Eternalist fuel. Well, when any is available. And we're going to have this guy have a transfer node on top of him. You are now being filled with dark matter as well. However, we're going to take this dark matter and we're going to use it to upgrade our Eternalist fuel production. Let me show you how. I'm going to grab one of these energy collectors and one of these antimatter relays, and I'll show you how it's going to be, how I'm going to use the dark matter to upgrade things. And then I'll go take care of it all on my own, the rest of it off screen. So, whoops, come back here, you. You don't belong over there. To upgrade the energy collectors from Mark 1 to Mark 2, it's a simple matter of putting down a bunch of glowstone and 1 dark matter on top. And now to an energy collector Mark 2. And the same thing can be done for the antimatter relay. Now, it is most efficient to upgrade all of your energy collectors before you bother upgrading the relays. The reason to upgrade the relays is you get a higher bonus out of them, and you will eventually make up for the cost. Luckily, dark matter basically doesn't have an EMC cost in this because it runs on extreme essence and lapis lazuli essence. So you don't have to worry about the usual calculations. Now, if I grab, I'm going to put this guy back into place. I'm going to grab this. And I want to show you, wait a second, what the heck? Yeah, there's some Eternalist fuel waiting in those. Good. There you go. It's going to be interesting to see how it ends up splitting things up because it has an equal distance between this assembler and this assembler. However, not a problem. Once one fills up with a stack of Eternalist fuel, then it'll just hang there at that amount. So, I wanted to show you the difference between the two energy collectors. As you can see, this guy is generating relatively rapidly. 10 EMC or so every, say 5 EMC a second or so. You can get exact numbers online if you look up an old equivalent exchange 2 wiki. I'm not going to do that today. I don't remember the exact numbers. I just know that the Mark II, as you can see, generates power quite a bit faster than the Mark I, which is why you want to upgrade them. And once I have all of my energy collectors and antimatter relays upgraded, this device, this power flower, is going to be generating energy quite a bit faster, which means generating Eternalist fuel quite a bit faster than it can right now. Let me go get the rest of these upgrades done. I have another 21 dark matter so far. Be right back. One thing before we head back to base, I did change around the Ender Quarry some. I replaced the injection tube with a chest and extraction tube because the injection tube works pretty well with the Ender Quarry, but it only has one space for things to go into, where the Ender Quarry moves so fast that it might occasionally output many different types almost at the same instant, faster than the injection tube can really get them into the system. So the extraction tube will pull out a stack at a time and slowly work its way through all of the various items that are in the chest. I'm thinking that it shouldn't be a problem, but I'll keep an eye on things. Anyway, we're not actually powering this thing at full speed anyway. That one generator isn't quite enough for it. So we're going to make use of the injection tube back home. All right, so this injection tube is going to get used on the cyclic assembler on this side. It should output everything there for me. Let's hope it does. And then we're going to just use a little bit more tubing and put our red matter, hang on a moment, into our barrel. It's insisting on attempting to connect there, even though that thing cannot accept. So we'll do it like that. And it looks like there's a connection there, but there really kind of isn't. Just to make absolutely certain that there are no lingering issues with that. Oh, sure, I'm out of caps. Fine, I'll make some more. Cut a tube in half, make a couple of tube caps. Just to make sure there are no lingering issues caused by this, we'll put you right there. Good. Now you're no longer looking like you're attempting to connect. Put everything away. Life is good. So, despite the fact that it's not really functioning at the moment, this device will produce red matter slowly as it gets extreme essence and Eternalist fuel. Those are the bottlenecks right now. Because those are our bottlenecks, well, we should do something to speed that up. The Eternalist fuel bottleneck is really, really easy for me to solve. I can just grab 2 stacks of nether stars from here and kind of dig my way into this guy and turn those stacks of nether stars into lots of Eternalist fuel really quickly. And I don't mind using equivalent exchange 2 to mass produce, Project E to mass produce a Project E item. In fact, it makes a certain amount of sense to me to do so. It does not seem to be outputting its Eternalist fuel. That's strange. What's going on here? Condenser. Lots of Eternalist fuel in there. Transfer node. Okay. Why are you not finding that inventory right there? That is not very convenient for me. Let's see if we can solve that little issue. Whoops. What just happened? Alright, so... Strangeness. Seems to be working now, but it is also putting eternalist fuel on the sides, which I very much do not want it to do. It's almost like this thing, once it runs out, stops transferring. Well, anyway, I brought myself a couple piles of speed upgrades to make this all go a bit faster. We're going to get those speed upgrades into place, and we're going to hope that this thing continues to function properly now. Oh, where did you go, energy collector? There you are. And it seems to be functioning again, which is good. And you now have a stack of eternalist fuel waiting in you, as do you, though the transfer nodes I accidentally put into the barrel did end up going through. And you are generating dark matter slowly, which is good. So, here's the thing. This guy, I'm not going to have any residual dark matter left off, the way things are set up right now. I think it would be in my best interest to change the way things are set up right now so that I will always have a little bit of dark matter. So let me do a quick redesign. Here's the way this is going to work. Instead of having our barrel directly on there, we're going to stick a transfer node on that export side. And that transfer node will start gathering the dark matter from inside. And we're going to put a rationing pipe inside the transfer node. This means when I attach this barrel here, well, it's attached by rationing pipe. It's always going to keep exactly one stack of dark matter in there before it goes look, and then after that, it will go looking past the barrel to find a place to put it. At which point, the dark matter will end up in this cyclic assembler. So, if I were to stick this dark matter into the transfer node, well, it's going to find this barrel, put it in there before it gets in the assembler. So now I'll always have a stack of dark matter around, which, not the most useful thing in the world. I mean, dark matter has a limited number of uses. Words are hard. But I do want to keep it around just in case I ever want to play with more of this stuff. And since I'm setting up an automated system, I should set up an automated system properly in such a way that I can generate both, as opposed to just one or the other. Now we're going to turn this guy, and now we're going to teach you how to make red matter. And we're going to set you to accept from the back and output to the left. There we go. And, at that point, we can do the injection tube. Ooh, we need to make sure that that doesn't happen. As such, we're going to cap that injection tube on this side. That's a weird look, but it works. Does exactly what it's supposed to. There we are. You have your Eternalist, you have your Eternalist. Excellent. Then we're gonna tube there, and again, put that cap there so that it's not... Oops, not there. Come on. Cooperate. So it's not attempting to connect to the Tesseract and causing any funny business. And then we will have our barrel of red matter. Excellent. I'm going to need 3 dark matter. I'm going to need to put this schematic for dark matter back in here. Excellent. And now this guy can be taught that 3 dark matter and 6 Eternalist fuel equals 1 red matter. Now if I put my dark matter in there, it creates, outputs, and ends up in the barrel. Awesome. So now we need to work on our bottlenecks. Specifically, Well, not eternalist fuel, as you can see, because we solved that mainly by tossing a ton of nether stars in there. However, we are now burning through it, slowly but surely. Why are you going down? Oh, it was just refilling itself. That's fine. That's okay. I'm actually going to give you a few speed upgrades just to make sure that you're moving at optimum efficiency. You as well, and you. Why not? I have the speed upgrades. I'm going to use them all. All transfer nodes get 16 speed upgrades because I'm a monster. All right. Next step along the line. Let's solve our bottleneck, specifically that extreme essence issue. That is, as you can see, the one major bottleneck of the system at this time. To do so, we are going to grab our plant growth accelerators. And I'm going to try... Well, I'm going to make sure I have at least one in my inventory. And then I'm going to attempt to vein mine them from the bottom. See what happens. Holding my vein miner button. There we go. 42 plant growth accelerators. Excellent. There's more. Yay. Now, I did some testing, and I discovered that when you're working over a large area, you're best off using using them on every portion of that area. As such, we're going to fly up over here, and we're going to plant growth accelerate our essence seeds here. It's going to require a little bit of careful digging. Now, under these two, we can only get the 4 because that's all the room we have. Oh no, that was a mistake. Mistakes were made. Man, I should play some Orcs Must Die. There we are. Under the rest, though, I'm going to put a whole lot of these plant growth accelerators. In fact, I want a string of 63 of them underneath every single one of these blocks. To make that happen, I'm going to have to go craft more. As you can see, the plant growth accelerator itself does not have an EMC value. However, everything that makes it up does. So I'm not going to bore you with crafting all of this on screen. I'm just going to show you the theory, and then I'll cut back to the finished product once I have them all in place. Basically, I'm going to be setting them all up, and then just using my builder's wand, which is in here somewhere, I swear, there it is, to easily extend that pillar all the way down until I reach the top of the void. And I'm going to have to clear out most of this platform while I'm at it, but that's okay. Didn't like this platform anyway. It was ugly. And I'm going to do this to at least this one, and then we'll see how it's running. And if necessary, we will ultra accelerate all 4 of these pads. Back in a bit, once I have that put together. There we have it, folks. A pillar of plant growth accelerators extending from the bottom of the farm all the way to the bottom of the world. Now, I also did a small test. I replaced the extraction tube with a transfer node with 16 speed upgrades in it, because I was hoping the transfer node would pull out faster. Unfortunately, even letting this thing build up a good bit of essence dust in it before it was allowed to start, I discovered that the bottleneck here is the crafting station. And you can see that this crafting station is just keeping up with the speed that this thing is now able to produce essence dust, which is relatively quickly if you take a look at how fast everything's growing. If I want to expand this to the other 4 pads, which I do because while it is going relatively quickly, it is still producing extreme essence quite slowly. Mostly because it takes, I believe, so let's see, what's it take? It takes 4 strong, which is 16 regular, which is 64 weak, which is 4 stacks of essence dust per extreme essence, which means I need 16 stacks of essence dust per dark matter, or 48 stacks of essence dust per red matter. Well, this is clearly not going to cut it in terms of speed. As such, I'm definitely going to be expanding these with the plant growth accelerators as well. I'll get all that done off camera. And I'm going to need to replace this guy with a cyclic assembler. Let me get all of those preparations ready. I want this setup to be complete to hand out to you guys as soon as the world download is ready, which is going to come this episode as it is a multiple of 10. Back in a bit. Alrighty, folks, here you have it. This took some time to put together, but man, was it worth it. So, we have all 4 farms working to capacity. This would be easy to extend at this point because, honestly, like, these plant growth accelerators are so cheap for what they do. If you don't remember the recipe, it's just a piston, 4 redstone, and 4 stone get you 4 of them. So it's like a stone, a redstone, and a quarter of a piston get you a plant growth accelerator. So even making the hundreds of them that I have used, the stacks and stacks and stacks of them, was not that much of an issue. Just thank you, EMC. And then that's all going into the cyclic assembler, which is generating quite a bit of weak essence relatively quickly. I wouldn't say we're at any sort of like extreme speed or anything, but I don't feel like I can do too much more of this without overloading things unnecessarily. Like, already I don't want to think about the number of growth ticks that are being forced into this small area, and I'm kind of surprised that I'm not suffering performance issues because of it on a single player world. Then, Cyclic Assembler is outputting directly into this crafting station, which is then crafting along some regular essence, which is making strong, which is making extreme, and is slowly but surely generating our dark matter, which will then be crafted into red matter once we have a full stack of dark matter. However, I kind of want to speed that process up. Well, actually, you know what? I don't really want to speed that process up. I think that we're in good shape. I will now slowly, over time, generate a infinite supply of dark matter and red matter by the power of growing things. And if I want to make things go even faster, if I find that my Eternalist fuel ends up being a bottleneck, I mean, one, yes, I can very easily, like, grab a stack of nether stars and, you know what? The easiest one to do is right there. All I need to... I lied. No, I didn't. All I need to do is dump that stack into the antimatter relay, maybe? Yes. And it will generate lots of Eternalist fuel for me very, very quickly. So, and well, I mean, it'll speed things up for me at least. It's not as instant as the energy collector. So, like, Eternalist fuel, not exactly an issue anymore. The reason I wanted to use the transfer nodes and such over here is because if this lapis, which it is almost certain to do at some point, ends up filling up, well, the transfer node will just kind of sit here with the lapis essence inside of it, looking for a place to put it. And then eventually the adjustable chest will fill up, and this will just stop. Everything over here will stop producing. All of these plants will be fully grown, the transfer node won't have anywhere to put things, and the adjustable chest will stop harvesting because it'll be full of essence, because it's going to slowly pump out all of the seeds. Now, I suppose that's great. We're good. Everything's set up. And our quarry continues to tick along. Actually, our quarry just stopped ticking along. Except it's running very, very slowly on the 320 power a tick that this thing can output. We'll deal with that next episode, though. It's time to find better power than lava power, because this lava generator is not super efficient. We can do much, much better. In fact, I already have a plan for exactly that. But at the moment, I think we're good. So, as usual, you will find a chest or chests with my goodies. We'll put down a crystal chest. I have extras of those. Oh, I don't know why I have extra extreme essence in my inventory, but we can clear that out real easy. Darn. Wasn't fast enough. Really not fast enough. Did I lock this and will it lock the other one? Hang on. Testing now live on stream. On camera. Yes, you can. If you lock one, it will lock the other. That's fun. That makes me happy. Gonna lock all of my barrels just in case things go awry. Anyway, you'll find all of my goodies, as usual, in a chest right here waiting for you. Gotta take off the armor and the baubles, and the Wildecraft goodies, and the extra, the Tinker's Construct hearts. Backpack will be right there waiting for you. There you go, folks. Thank you very much for joining me. Hope you've enjoyed the episode. Next time, we provide some better power to our quarry and hopefully move on with the quest line, and maybe start playing around with some of the red matter that I'm producing. If you have enjoyed the episode, please leave a like below, tell me what you liked about it, and consider subscribing. If you've not enjoyed the episode, please leave a dislike below, tell me what I can do better, and consider subscribing anyway because I'm fantastic. See you next time.